So what I'm going to do right now is show a technique for joining two pieces together with slots. And these two pieces are going to be at perpendicular angles. So what I'm going to do is start with just a front piece. I'll just make this a really simple rectangle. And the size isn't super important, so I'll just make it 4 by 3. I'm going to extrude it out the thickness of one piece of cardboard. So I'm going to make myself a variable, just like I always do. 0.16 inches for that. And we'll extrude that out. And then what I want to do is I want to have another part that actually goes across this, so it's perpendicular to this. I think to make this easy on myself, I'm going to make myself an offset plane from the right plane. I'll move this over, we'll say 2 inches so that it's basically centered on there. That looks fine. And now I'm going to sketch myself another rectangle right here. And I'm just going to make it also be, I'll make it also 4 inches tall. Say 6 inches by 4 inches. No, I said 3 inches, I guess, on the height on the other one, didn't I? All right, so that looks good. And I'll extrude this as well. Same thing. There we go. Let me go back to my home view here. All right, so I've got those two pieces, and all they're doing right now is intersecting. Oh, I forgot to make that a new part when I extruded it. There we go. So I've got part 1, and I've got part 2. What I'd like to do now, though, is make it so that those slot together. And so all I'm going to do for this is I am going to go over to my front view. I'm going to make a new sketch on that first rectangle that I made. And then I'm going to actually turn its visibility off for a second, just to make it a little easier to see. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to project in these two sidelines right here. And then I'm going to turn off this part's visibility for a second and turn this one back on. So basically what I want to do is just make a rectangle that goes halfway down, and then I'm going to extrude and remove that away. But I want these two sidelines to kind of show me exactly where that rectangle goes. So if I go back to my front view, I'm going to start this rectangle here. I'm going to allow it to join up with this one here. And then what I can do in my dimensions is, it's already at 1.5, so that's perfect. That looks great right there, and I can click check. Now when I extrude, I can just remove away that section right there. That looks great. And then I need to do the same kind of thing for the other one. I need to remove away that slot. So I've got a slot in this first piece. I need a slot in this second piece as well. So let me come around to my right view. I'm going to make a sketch on this one. And I'm going to do basically the same thing. I'm going to project in or use these two sidelines here. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn this visibility off for a sec. And I'm going to see if I can project in just this dot here and just this dot here. And that just shows me exactly where that original rectangle stopped. So if I was doing something trickier than doing exactly half of the width, using the existing geometry makes that a little bit more reliable, so to speak. So let me turn visibility off on those ones again. And then basically all I need to do is just make a line that goes across there and a line that goes across here, and that turns that into a closed face. So if I remember from this first part, I removed away the top part on the original part. I'm going to remove away the bottom part on the second one. So now what I should have, did I do that right? Yeah, what I should have is two parts that fit together. I can check that by pulling that into my assembly view. Before I do that, let me rename this to be slot demo. We'll make a new assembly. You can kind of see what that looks like in the assembly. So let me insert my slot demo parts. And the ability to kind of pull these apart shows that a little bit easier. So you can kind of see that I've got these two parts here, and you can see how they slot together here. If I was going to actually assemble this, I could use a fastened mate. And a good way to do this would be to grab the flat spot at the bottom here, and then the flat spot at the bottom of this section in here. I can orbit around and get to it. There we go. And those two parts are now mated together using those slots.